Good morning friends, welcome back to Panika Tutorials. In the last video, I have discussed in detail about the test and set instruction and its limitations. I hope you have watched that video. If you did not watch that video or if you don't know that concept, I request you to go back and watch that video and come back to this video. In this video, I want to discuss one of the GATE previous year question which came in the year 2009 related to test and set instruction. This kind of questions will help you to understand the concept in a better way. So I request everyone to watch the complete video for better understanding. First let me read out the question, then I will discuss the solution with you. Look at the question. The enter underscore cs, leave underscore cs functions to implement critical session of a process are realized using test and set instruction as follows. Void enter underscore cs x inside the curly braces while test underscore set x. Is it clear? Void leave underscore cs x is equal to 0. In the above solution, x is a memory location associated with the critical session and initialized to 0. Now consider the following statements. They have given 4 statements. Okay. First statement they are given as the above solution is deadlock free. Second one they are saying the above solution is starvation free. Statement 3 they are saying the process enter into critical session in first out. Is it clear? FIFO order. First in, first out process. Now more than one process can enter into the critical session. Now among these 4 statements they are asking which of the above statements are true. Option A, they are saying statement 1 is true. Option B, they are saying statement 1 and 2 are true. Option C, they are saying statement 2 and 3 are true. And option B, they are saying only statement 4 is true. Now, if you have already watched my video related to test and set instruction, you can easily answer this question. If you know the answer, I request you to write the answer in the comment section. Is it clear? If you have correctly answered, I will be the first person who will be very happy. Is it clear? If you cannot answer this question, don't worry. I am here to teach you until you understand the concept in a better way. So now look at this one. This question is related to the test and set instruction. They have clearly wrote. Now look at the first statement. The above solution is deadlock free. Now look at here. When a process P1 and process P2 is there, is it clear? And there is a critical session is there. Okay, any process, if let's take the process P1 wants to enter into the critical section, as the critical section is free, meaning is that it is vacant, no process is there. Now test and set instruction, if process P1 wants to enter into the critical section, will it allow or not? Yes, it will allow. Am I right? When the critical section is vacant, lock value initially is false, so the while condition or the entry session part, it is what? It is false, so it can enter into the critical session. If process P1 wants to enter into the critical session and critical session is vacant, process P1 can enter into the critical session. Now if process P2 wants to enter into the critical session, will it allow? No, it will be there in the busy waiting. Now look at here. When we will say the deadlock, there is a resource is there. Process P1 wants that resource, process P2 wants that resource. Now these two processes are not allowed. Is it clear? Then only we can say that process P1 and process P2 are waiting, then deadlock will occur. But here process P1 can enter into the critical session. Once the process P1 complete its task, it will come out from the critical session, then process P2 can enter into the critical session. So there is no deadlock. So even they are saying the above solution is deadlock free. So this statement is true. Is it clear? Look at this statement. Second statement. The above solution is starvation free. In the last video, I already discussed when the starvation will occur in the test and set instruction. Look at here. There is a process P1 is there. Okay. Process P1 entered into the critical session. When the process P1 tries to enter into the critical session is vacant. So process P1 can enter into the critical session. After it entered into the critical session, it was preempted. Okay. Now process P2 entered into the running state. and now it wants to enter into the critical session. As already process P1 is in the critical session, process P2 cannot enter into the critical session and it will be in the busy waiting. Meaning is that it will be keep on executing the while condition only, the entry session. So process P2 cannot enter into the critical session and it is busy waiting. Now process P2 was preempted and process P1 again dispatched to the running state. Now it will complete the critical session and it will exit. Once the process P1 is exit, critical session is vacant. Now let's take that if process P2 is scheduled, then it can enter the critical session. Now let's take that instead of process P2, process P3 was scheduled. Is it clear? Are you able to understand it or not? Meaning is that let's take that process P3 has the highest priority as compared to the process P2. Then process P3 will be dispatched to the running state. Now process P3 is entered into the critical session. Now let's take that it was preempted and process P2 entered it. Is it clear? Now again it will be busy waiting. Are you able to understand it or not? Is it clear? Now again process P3 was scheduled, then it will complete the critical session and it will exit. Okay, are you able to understand? Now at this moment critical session is vacant. Again if process P2 is scheduled, then it can get it. Let's take that process P4 was scheduled. Okay, then it will enter into the critical session and again P2 tries to enter into the critical session, it will be getting busy wait. Okay, are you able to understand? Now process P4 was scheduled, again it will exit from the critical session. Now critical session is vacant. Let's take that process P5 was scheduled, so it will enter into the critical session. Now process P2 is scheduled, again it will be in busy waiting. So look at here, process P2 was here but still it did not get the critical session part, so it is keep on waiting, so it leads to the starvation. So they are saying that the above solution is starvation free, which is absolutely wrong. Is it clear? I hope you are able to understand. Now look at this one, the third statement, what they are saying. The process enter into critical session in first out. Meaning is that the process which one has entered first, that will get the critical session. Yes, process P1 got it. But after process P1 exit, does the P2 got it, enter into the critical session? No. Still process P2 has not get the critical session. After P1, if P2 enter into the critical session, then P3 enter into the critical session. Like that if it is happening, then I can say that it is first in, first out. But here it is not happening. Process P1, then process P2, then process P3 came. Am I right? The order of arrival is process P1, process P2, process P3. But the order of critical session executed is process P1, then process P3. So it is not first in, first out. So even the statement 3 is wrong. Now look at here, more than one process can enter into the critical session. Is it true? Wrong. Am I right? I already discussed with an example. So the test and set instruction is providing the mutual exclusion. If this statement is true, then mutual exclusion is not provided. But test and set instruction is providing the mutual exclusion. So even I can say that statement 4 is wrong. So which statement is true? Only statement 1 is true. Look at the options. Option A is saying only statement 1 is true. Yes, this is correct. Option B is saying 1 and 2. 1 is true but 2 is false. So this option B is wrong. Look at option C. It is saying statement 2 is true, which is wrong. Okay, 2 and 3 both are right, but it is wrong. Now option D is saying statement 4 is right, but it is wrong. So the correct answer for this question is option A. I hope you have understood how I solved this question. If you still have any doubts related to this concept, feel free to ask me in the comment section. I will try to clear your doubts as early as possible. Thank you for watching the complete video. Have a nice day.